So now we're going to set up email accounts. And there's many ways to do this, but today I'm going to show you the fast, easy way to do it. There are other ways to do it to where it costs less, but you have the hassle of configuring all those accounts and having to reconnect them when they get disconnected. But they also give you some flexibility in how you set up your accounts. Down the road, I'll make some training around that, but today we're going to talk about setting up accounts quickly, as easily as possible. And so to do this, we're going to utilize Instantly's built-in email account creator. We're going to go over to the email account creator, and this page is going to be blank for you, and we're going to click add new. So now we're going to be given these options. We can connect existing accounts, which is the technical way. This way works very well. It's obviously more technical, more involved to set up, and you can get cheaper accounts this way. But for the sake of speed and simplicity, we're going to go with the done for you email setup. Instantly also has this right here, a pre-warmed account. So you can choose a pre-warmed account. You can skip the warm-up period and go ahead and get those set up. However, that's not always available. So you should know how to set up a done for you at a bare minimum, how to do this. So what we're going to do is click on Gmail/G Suite, and we're going to enter your existing domain. So let's say your agency is called Dog Agency. We're going to type this in here. We're going to press enter. And now Instantly is going to suggest some alternative domains that we're going to use to set up the email accounts. Now, of course, you don't want to be sending emails from your primary domain. So that's why this is how it is. You want to send from alternative domains that are somewhat similar to yours. So that way, if they do get burned, your main domain is still squared away. It's still good to go. So if you don't like any of these suggestions, we're just going to click search for more. Some more is going to pop up. And basically, you're just going to check mark the ones that you want to keep. You can see that the domain price, it gets shown here at the bottom. $75, so it's about $15 per domain. About what you would expect to pay in most places. We're going to click next. Now you're going to set up your accounts for each domain. And you can set up 3 to 4 accounts per domain name. The first thing we want to do right here is if anyone goes to any of those alternate domain names, if they're curious and they type them in, they want to check it out, we want to make sure that it gets redirected to your main domain. So we're going to type this in here. Whatever your main domain is, go ahead and type it in. And then we're going to start setting up the accounts. So the first account, let's say your name is Paul, or you want it to be Paul. And maybe we want to say P Foster at all domains. Click add. You can see that it adds it down here. Now it did give me a warning because it's saying a maximum of 5 emails per domain. You can see that it says you now have more than 5 emails with each of these. So that's why it's giving me a warning. What you can do is go down and just delete all of these by clicking this trash icon a million times. All right, we're back down to 0. Click add, and you can see now you can see a little better what just happened. I put in this information here, the P Foster, and you can see that it created P Foster at all of these alternate domains, and you can see what the cost is. So it's $5 per account per month. So I recommend setting up 3 to 4 accounts per domain, depending on how many emails you want to send per day. Each email account can send 20 to 25 cold emails per day. So you do the math, if you're trying to send 1,000 per day, what that would look like. All right, so the last step to do is just go down here, click place order, and that's going to put you in the queue. Instantly is going to, on the back end, go ahead and start setting up those accounts. Usually within 24 hours, they're going to appear in your account screen. Now, once these accounts are in here, even though they haven't been set up yet, you're going to see a little marker that says set up pending. That's perfectly fine. We can still go ahead and configure the accounts. So to do that, we're just going to select all. Now, if you do select this page, you need to be aware that not all of them are loaded until you scroll all the way down. So just to make sure that we get every single email, I have to scroll down to the very bottom, scroll back up to the top, and then select all. Otherwise, you're only going to be configuring the ones that are loaded on the screen. So go ahead and check all of those. Let's go to bulk settings. In here, if you don't change it, then they'll stay the same. So the main things we want to change are the daily warm-up limit. I like to put this, when it's brand new, I like to put it to 35. I like to come up here and set the campaign limit to 25 also, even though we're not sending the campaign just yet. I like to enable slow ramp up, because this is going to, just like when we're doing the warm-up process, we're not gonna just start sending 35 warm emails per day. We're gonna increase slowly, 1 on day 1, 2 on day 2, 3 on day 3, etc., to slowly warm them up to that warm-up maximum that we set. You want to do the same thing with your campaigns as well. So go ahead and enable this. Everything else you can leave the same, since you're doing the instantly setup process. Now, if you were doing this, if you were importing your own accounts, then you may have to do additional configuration. And what I would recommend is just going with whatever is suggested here. Sometimes I'll put the reply rate to 100%. I'll enable some of these options right here. But in my experience, they haven't made that big of a difference, so you can just leave it. Something else that is very important is the custom tracking domain. Now, since we're using Instantly to set up these accounts for us, they already handle the custom tracking domain, which is amazing. Otherwise, you do need to set this up for yourself. However, once we get into that stage, if we do want to go down that route, I'm going to have different videos for that to cover everything we need to do to set up custom tracking. But just know that this is a very important step, and it's already included in the Instantly accounts that are set up for us. All right, so from there, everything looks good. Just go ahead and click Save. Let those changes take effect, and now you're good. Now, again, we just wait for those accounts to be set up. 24 to 48 hours is typically how long it will take, so it doesn't take very long. While you're waiting, you can go ahead and start building out your campaigns. So check the resources for this video to cover anything that may not be covered in the video, and then you move on to the next step, and we'll start building campaigns.